I rise to speak in opposition to House Bill 5013. This is a challenging issue that we've grappled with over the past few months, but in a way, it's actually quite simple. Michiganders agree, and we in this chamber agree, on the goal of lowering auto insurance rates in our state. From my first campaign until now, it is an issue that residents have talked to me regularly about, on the doors, at community meetings, on the phone, at coffee hours, and at the town hall that I held about a month ago. And of course, living in Detroit, I know the story of high auto insurance rates pretty well myself. We all support reducing rates, and we need to do it in the most responsible way possible. In my conversations with residents in my district, they have had many questions about this bill, and when they hear all of the details and engage in a full conversation and learn about the proposals that are out there, they understand this bill is a step backward. I do not believe this bill is the right way to reform no fault, and in fact, I know that it would do considerable harm to my community. Our residents deserve better. House Bill 5013 dramatically cuts important medical benefits without giving Michiganders the long-term rate reductions that are truly meaningful for their lives. Let me be clear, this bill does not guarantee rate reduction. The reduction is on PIP, we all know that, not the entire premium. Insurance companies can still get exceptions from the Insurance Bureau by justifying their decision using actuarial techniques. In other words, if your insurance company does some math that says that they will lose money if they lower your PIP, they may not actually lower it at all. Michigan deserves better. There are so many drivers in Detroit and other areas that simply cannot afford insurance, and that is not good for anyone in an auto accident. Unfortunately, this bill does not actually address that problem. People who can't afford auto insurance now will still not be able to afford their auto insurance. If a driver would normally have been charged $5,200 for auto insurance and gets a 40% reduction on their PIP, best case scenario, their new bill that they would be charged would still be likely over $4,000. And I highly doubt that the folks that I know in my district facing poverty, that they would be able to afford that either. Detroiters and Michiganders deserve better. House Bill 5013 fails to address important factors in determining the high insurance costs that many of my residents pay simply because of what neighborhood they live in, or literally what side of a street or which corner they live on. From zip codes to educational attainment and marital status to credit scores, these have been studied, and they've been determined to have a dramatic impact on what a driver is forced to pay. We need to fix this problem, and this bill does not do that. Our residents deserve better, and we have ideas on how to fix this. I'm not even going to get into the details about the increase in annual Medicaid costs, or the failure to subject the MCCA to FOIA, or the Insurance Industry Heavy Fraud Authority. But my residents and your residents deserve better. Here's the bottom line. Under this bill, the most vulnerable in our communities will be harmed. We must take care of people in their greatest time of need. We need to think about these vulnerable individuals, like our kids who are in the back seat when someone gets into an accident and would have capped lifetime benefits and no legal recourse under the cheapest plan. Only $25,000 for rehab and all the many, many other long-term needs after that child is out the door at the emergency room. And we need to be thinking about vulnerable people like those with disabilities. The Michigan Disability Rights Coalition, which works to make sure that people with disabilities have equity and opportunity, says that this bill is, quote, in total conflict with their goals. As lawmakers, it is our responsibility to keep these individuals, our kids, people with disabilities, the most vulnerable in our communities, first and foremost, as we make decisions that will greatly impact their lives. I don't know about you, but I'm here to fight for them, not their insurance companies. Over the weekend, a neighbor called me to urge me to support this bill, saying that don't let the perfect be the enemy of the good. I actually do agree with that saying, but that sentiment does not apply to this bill. This bill would move us backward, and it is not good for Michigan. There are some great ideas about how to reform auto no-fault in this chamber, and I am confident that we can work together in a bipartisan way to make sure that we achieve our shared goal of lower auto insurance rates. through common sense reforms that the vast majority of us here agree on. Let's have a real conversation about this issue. Let's reform auto insurance in a way that is responsible and doesn't negatively impact the most vulnerable in our state in their greatest time of need. Colleagues, I urge you to vote no on House Bill 5013. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.